and welcome to Rowdies Weekly. I'm your host, Heather Donnelly. The Rowdies are coming off their home opener, which ended in a scoreless draw against Indy 11. I'm joined now by Matt Pickens to talk a little bit about that game and a whole lot more. Matt, in that game against Indy 11, you really only had to make 2 saves in the second half. How much do you like games like that where you really don't see a whole lot of action in goal?
Yeah, I think sometimes those are hit or miss games, because sometimes you can be doing nothing for a long time and you just gotta stay concentrated and focus on everything that's going on. But I think at the end of the day, I'd rather not be busy than have a game where it's busy all day long. And I think we were solid on the weekend defensively. I felt like we broke down Indy pretty well on the offensive half. Just couldn't find that goal. So we'll build from that, and we'll take the positives from that and move on.
Overall, defensively, what are some of the strengths of the back line this year?
I think even though we haven't played much together with that back four, I think that I think you see a cohesion there. We have a lot of experience with Tam and with Neil. We got some guys on the outside that are quick and want to get forward. I just think that having that experience back there is huge, and I think you're going to see it's going to be games like that where I'm not going to be very busy, and it's going to be hats off to those guys doing the dirty work.
I asked the same question to Tam last week on Rowdies Weekly. How are the 2016 Rowdies different than last year's team?
Yeah, I think just touching on that last question, I think it's that experience, but I think it's that experience throughout the whole roster. I feel like we put together a very good competitive roster in every spot. I think that anybody on our team can be a starter, and I think that's hats off to the management building that and putting that together. I don't know if I could say that for last year's team, and you would kind of see that in some of the games that we played last year, some of those games where we really had to dig deep and dig out a result, and we couldn't find it. So I think this year we have those players, and we have those players that are on the bench too that can do that. So I think if something does happen to any of the guys, we know that we're confident having another guy step up, and they're going to get the job done.
You traveled to Miami FC on Saturday, your first road trip of the regular season, and it's your first of 3 in-state road trips just in the spring alone. How nice is it to just have those in-state games where Rowdies fans are going to be traveling to come support you guys on the road?
Yeah, in my mind, I think it's good. You don't have to go through that whole process of going to an airport and doing that, and those become long days for people that don't really understand that side of it. Traveling a day before the game can be a nightmare, and it can be very taxing on your body and your mentality as well. So I think that does fall in our favor that we have those games in state, and like I said, the fans get to travel and they get to come see us, and I know that's going to be big for them as well.
What are you expecting out of Miami FC on Saturday? They're a new team in the league, so I imagine There's a lot of unknowns there.
Yeah, I think they are a bit of a dark horse, and that's a little scary going into, but I know that our management is going to get us prepared for the game, like they always do. But I think with this one, we're going to have to do a little bit more preparation as far as watching and seeing what they did last game and figuring their identity out, because we know nothing about them. Coming into the league, they weren't in here last year, so. And it will be a tough game, and we are going to have to go there expecting the battle.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And now I'm joined by head coach Stuart Campbell. Coach, how do you think your team played on Saturday night?
Yeah, I thought we played pretty well. We created a few chances. Obviously frustrated not to get the goal, which obviously that changes the whole complex of the game.
You said in your pregame show interview that you had some sleepless nights trying to choose the lineup for this game. What was it like, not only trying to choose the starting 11, but just the 18 guys that would even get to suit up for that match? Yeah,
it was extremely tough, and I think that's credit to the players, because I think the majority of them all had very good pre-seasons. They all performed to a good level in the game. So as I said, it was tough, not just picking the 11, but especially picking the 18. That was extremely difficult, having to leave sort of 4 or 5 guys out completely.
Looking at some statistics, you completed 83% of your passes and really controlled the possession of the game. What do you take from a statistic like that?
Yeah, obviously it's great to have access to them statistics, but still I'm a believer your eye doesn't lie, and even if I hadn't known that, I was still happy with the way we passed the ball, the way we moved it. was happy with the chances that we created. Just as I said, it was just we just couldn't get that elusive goal. We couldn't break Indy down.
This week, the Rowdies announced that they signed Elliot Richards, a player that you know from your time at Bristol Rovers. What do you expect a guy like that to contribute to the Rowdies organization?
Yeah, I think obviously when we were over in England, we had 4 young players that come in to have sort of a mini tryout with us, if you like, with one eye on the Rowdies too in the MPSL. And I think Elliot he performed well, and he folded into that category. Originally earmarked for the Rowdies too, but because he became available earlier than expected, we're bringing him over, and obviously he'll be available for the NASL with the Rowdies, then also Rowdies too when their season starts.
This Saturday, you're going to be taking on Miami FC, your first road trip of the season. They're a team that's brand new to the league. So what are you expecting out of them? Are there a lot of unknowns there?
A little bit, but fortunately they played the first game now, so we're able to do a decent scouting job on them, and they had a good result against Fort Lauderdale, considering they were down to 10 men for a large period of that game.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
The Rowdies head down south on Saturday night to take on Miami FC at 8 p.m. You can watch that game streaming live on ESPN3. Another big thanks to Stuart Campbell and Matt Pickens for stopping by Rowdies Weekly, and thank you for watching.